Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. You know, sometimes I make videos as sort of a response or to continue a conversation over another video that I may have watched, and that is the case with this video. I just recently watched a video from Brothers Keepers 111, and I thought it was a very important subject. He was describing or recounting a event that had taken place with his family when he was away at work. Okay, and you know, he talked. And by the way, he is a law enforcement officer, and you know, he was explaining that sometimes, like many of us, he's away from home at odd times and for long periods of time. And I know I can relate to that because of my job. I can be away from home for days, weeks. I can be away from home at very odd times of the day and night because of power outages, right? And that would include weekends and holidays and things of that nature. So a very important conversation to have about both your home security and ensuring that your family members are involved with and have a good knowledge set to know what to do with many different scenarios that could occur. Now, when I got married, you know, with my job the way that it was, I was concerned on my wife's safety when I was not around. And I'm not trying to depict myself as being some kind of a Superman that I would be able to handle any situation, but I do strive to be able to protect my family and to gain the knowledge and try to think out things in a logical way and have a equally logical response. So home defense, home security, however you want to call it, is important to me. So my wife, though, was kind of a hard sell. I think she's like many folks that you know, they realize that crime occurs, and they realize that bad things happen to good people at times. But she really hadn't put very much effort in thinking these things out and coming up with a resolute plan on how to deal with it. So that took some time. It took a little bit of time. I think one of the things that really aided the conversation was my wife began to want to learn how to shoot. And we would shoot, and it would provide an opportunity to talk about different things. And as she became more proficient with firearms, she actually approached me wanting to get the training and wanted to get a concealed weapons permit. And you know, she did receive the training and she did get her concealed weapons permit. But that's not where it stops. And that's not the most important thing for home defense. You know, there are many different layers, there are many different things, and I by no means am an expert. But I've had an opportunity for some good training. You know, in our community, I live in Norfolk, Virginia, and it is sort of a metropolis area, and not that Norfolk is a big city like a New York City or Chicago or LA or whatever, but because our city is surrounded by other good-sized cities, we're sort of like a sprawling metropolis. And unfortunately, we have some of the bad things that come along with having that environment. Now, so our conversation has covered many different things because all we really have to do is turn the TV on and watch some local news. And unfortunately, we have all the different examples that we could ever want happening around us. Okay, and my wife began to realize that. So we started to form a plan, or not just a plan, but a way of thinking that will help us get through different types of scenarios. And for sure, we haven't thought of all the scenarios, but we have, you know, a pretty good plan for different types of things that may occur, either while at home or away. Okay. One of those things, and I guess I'll talked to some of the training that I've received, and matter of fact, it was a local police officer that told me one time at a citizens awareness class that me and my wife went to, that you know, one of the biggest enemies for criminals is bright lights and loud sounds, and they don't like either one of those, and it's a great deterrent. And he went into a lot more detail talking about outdoor lighting and motion censored lighting, and even motion censored lighting for inside the home. And he also talked about loud sounds, like dogs are a great deterrent. Now, some of you that watch some of my videos may know I have a couple of really big dogs. I have an English Mastiff and a Saint Bernard. And you know, Sarge, my English Mastiff, really takes his guard duty, so to speak, very seriously. But both dogs are excellent. They are very aware, and they react by barking. Okay, sometimes it's aggravating, but dogs provide a lot of sound. Matter of fact, the other day I was a couple of houses down across the street from my house, and that poor mailman came up to the house, and just like every day, Sarge was waiting for him and was just raising Cain, and you know, Major joined in. And I mean to tell you, even though I was quite a distance away from my home, you could hear him clearly just barking and raising Cain. And that's a good thing. Now, you don't have to have, you know, the big giant dogs like I have, but dogs are a great deterrent because they will bark at strangers, and they are very aware of their surroundings at times. And at any rate, they are a positive thing to have for home defense. Another thing is we have an alarm system here in our home, and the alarm system adds another layer. And you know, we have a pretty good alarm system here. I know that there's better ones out there. We actually got it for free when we bought the home. They agreed to come in and install, you know, the alarm system as long as we signed a contract for the monitoring service, and we've maintained that since we've had this home. That monitoring service really didn't cost as much as I thought it would. It's rather reasonable, and if you can swing it, it's really something that adds a very good layer to your home defense plan. One of the things that we got along with our alarm system was it was like a key fob for a remote, like a little remote control, and that's something that my wife can have in her pocket or robe or whatever when I'm away from home, and instantly can activate that alarm system. We have talked about many different types of scenarios. If someone comes knocking at the door and is trying to get you to open that door, well, of course, being able to see who is out there is important, but also to have sort of a backup plan, you know. And in those cases, my wife and I has discussed it, and you know, I was saying, back away from that door. You know, have your cell phone handy. Cell phone is a good layer to have. We have both a hardline phone, and both of us have cell phones here, and so I make a practice to keep my cell phone with me. We have the chargers for our cell phone by our bedside, so that if we did hear that bump in the middle of the night, we would have a charged phone. And even if a phone line was cut to our hardline phone, it really doesn't make a difference to both our phone, our way to communicate, or our alarm system, because our alarm system also has a cell phone service. So it's a good thing. It's good things to have many different layers, and you know, and to discuss many different types of things. So yeah, I've told my wife, just back away from that door, take your cell phone out, you know, announce to that person that you know, if they don't leave, that you know, you're going to call the police. You're going to call 911. Another thing, and I should have brought it out, I forgot to, is I have a piece of cardboard about yay big that I have a piece of typing paper taped to it, almost like laminated to it, really. And it has important phone numbers and important information on there. I saw a TV show about this not long back, that, you know, people in really stressful situations sometimes can be on the phone with 911 and can't even remember their own address. You know, so, you know, I wrote down 911. I wrote down our names. I wrote down our address. You know, I also have other numbers on there. I have the local precinct police department phone number, and I have the local fire department number, and hospital, and an EMT service. Because when I had my heart attack, I dialed 911, and because of the amount of calls that were coming into the 911 system at that time, I was basically put on hold. Okay, so in such a situation like that, I could pick that piece of cardboard up with that paper on there, and I could read off the local hospital or local EMT, or maybe call the fire department locally and get through that way if I'm unable to get through with 911. You know, just this video is not meant to be the perfect thing for everyone. You know, you're going to need to have this discussion with your family, and you're going to have to get your family to buy into it, to prepare themselves a little bit with a little bit of knowledge. Because in that stressful situation, they can fall back on that, okay? And they won't be, you know, to the point where, oh my God, I don't know what to do, but maybe it'll help them a little quicker to say, maybe I need to get to the bedroom, maybe I need to grab that piece of cardboard, maybe I need to call 911, things of that nature. You know, and that's good to have. So it's another layer. Another scenario could, of course, be that bump in the middle of the night. And whether my wife and I are both home or one of us is away, we have discussed the things that we need to do. Well, if there's other family members in that house, you certainly are going to want to go out to them, get them, bring them back to our bedroom. Our bedroom is our sort of base. And from there, you know, lock our doors, things of that nature. Good doors and locks. Good locks on your windows. You know, all these things add layers of security, okay? Now, nothing is foolproof, but we can attempt to have a logical and reasonable discussion with our family members and do some really minor things to ensure more safety. Remember, just going out and buying a gun is you know, not the only thing you need to do. You will probably be better served with buying some motion sensor lights and putting them on the corners of your home. Having a dog. Your car alarm. Okay, that's another thing. You know, the keys to my car are in my pocket, and on that fob is an emergency, is a panic button. And I can press that thing and have my car alarm go off. Because once again, lights and noise has always been attributed to be deterrents to criminals. So, wanted to add more to the conversation. I'm sure Brothers Keepers 111 could really add some insight in future videos. I thank him for you know, making his video and starting this conversation. It's an important one because, to be honest with you, what is more important than the safety of your family? You know, to me, that's priority one. So, thank you as always for watching my videos. I certainly appreciate it. And remember to shoot straight on the range and in life.